Trauma is all too real, and we've been watching Israel and the pain in the country, and we are all wondering what we can do. So today, all the way from Israel, is CEO of the Healing Center in Rishpon is Dr. Ilana Kfartin. She is truly a warrior, and for the past year has dedicated her life to helping heal trauma. I feel so honored to have you here with us right now.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you for bringing this message out to the world through this.
I mean, the work you're doing is so incredibly important. Tell me what happened to your life on October 7th and how you shifted, and all of a sudden, this has become the work that you're doing.
Sure. So I live in the south, in a community named Eliav, between Kiryat Gat and Be'er Sheva, if people know the geography of Israel, but it's in the south. I'm a mother of 4 children. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. And up until October 7th, I was a lawyer. I have a PhD in gender studies, so I specialize in women's rights. And I ran some nonprofits. I was also as an emissary in a Jewish agency here. I did a lot of things in my professional life. And up until October 7th, you know, just the regular kind of like normative professional linear work. And then October 7th came, and everything changed within not a day, but really minutes. Like for many, many Israelis. And I think if you'd go, you know, one of 100 or 200 or 300 Israelis will change their profession after October 7th to do the work of rehabilitation, of trauma, or fighting, of responding to the crisis. And that's all we do, pretty much.
I mean, I got a moment of it. I was lucky enough to join you for a sound bath and a healing session to see the different modalities that you're incorporating to help heal not just Nova survivors and IDF soldiers, but all the people who are falling through the cracks.
Right.
What are you seeing? What kind of trauma are you seeing, and what types of modalities are you using to help heal this trauma?
So I think when we look at the war today, which is still ongoing, right? So it's hard to talk about PTSD when there's not post anything. You look at it and you see many, many circles of responders, people who have come to the, you know, to the time of the war as fighting, as physicians, as therapists, as people who are helping and supporting the direct victims. These people are between 500,000 and 3 million people, and not many places, not many organizations, not many offices are even looking at them as someone who needs anything. Because if you'd ask them, they'll tell you, I'm strong, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm here for the wounded families, I'm here to fight the war, I'm here to do it so that you could feel safe in your home. But these are people who are experiencing trauma, and they need to take care of it so that they could go on with doing the work that they're doing, with the resilience work that they're doing. And it took a while, I guess, for us also to understand that they're in need. And that is something that we'll have to do for the next 2 or 3 decades in Israel, right? Because it's the entire infrastructure of the Israeli society that needs this type of work. And I'll say, I guess, for people who don't know what it is that we're doing exactly, and you've been to the sound bath, so it was like a touch of, you know, one of the modalities. And even I don't come from this world. Like, we always think about therapy as something that you go to a session once a week for an hour, right? That's what like people understand. But in this crisis, we understood that we need to think completely differently and be creative, and to be able to see many, many people at once, but also see them through different modalities, because each person is experiencing trauma in a different way. So it should hit them in a different way in a sense. And these are also tools that you want them to take home. So what we have at Healing Space is yoga and massage and reflexology, shiatsu, acupuncture, art therapy, and everything that has to do with being in nature, in the wood, in the wilderness, in the ever-going, evergreen kind of like nature around you, right? And all of these are really different modalities from what you know and think about the therapy world.
Yeah. And what are you seeing when people come in and they're actually using these different modalities? Are you seeing people having moments of breakthroughs to release?
Yeah. It's really, it's hard to forget, you know, the little stories that we pick up kind of like along the way. But there was this soldier who came into a sound bath session. It's a 45-minute session. And when he came out, he said, ever since October 7th, I haven't slept for 5 minutes straight. I have nightmares. I cannot sleep. I see my friends that I lost in battle, and I slept for 45 minutes peacefully for the first time, right? Wow. So that's like one example. And then a lot of people come out of the treatments and they're crying, right? Because you're flooded with emotion. Suddenly it hits you that you're in trauma and it all comes out and kind of like washes through you. And these are only things that you can do with these type of things. We have a reflexologist, and she was talking to me after one of the treatments, and she said, I was working with this Nova survivor, and I can see on her foot that she escaped on October 7th, and she ran for miles. I can see it. I can see it on the map. And in just the 45 minutes treatment that I had with her, it's like 6 months of therapy.
Wow.
With the breakthrough, you know? And imagine that they're going through all of these modalities in one day, like how much impact it is.
Wow.
You can see the stress levels coming down. You can see people going back to concentrating on their work, on their lives, going back to sleeping, these kind of things.
I mean, like you said, this is going to take decades. It's going to take decades for a nation to come back alive after this. Yeah. You know, your economy is so hit. People are out of work. Soldiers are fighting and can't put bread on the table for their families. There's so much trauma in so many different ways that are hurting Israel altogether. Yeah. And we're watching from afar. We're here and we're wondering what we can do and how we can help. I mean, how can people afford to come to Healing Space and have this therapy that's so needed? How can they afford it? How does it work?
Well, they can't, and the system isn't yet ready. And we're seeing almost 100 people a day every day. So we've seen almost 15,000 people up to date. All we want is to be able to see 30, 50, 100,000 people a day. For the whole year. And to see more and more people, we need to expand our efforts. So right now we have one campus. So we want to expand to another and to another. That's what we're here for. By the way, we're spending a few days here in the U.S. kind of like going around with the communities, with our brothers and sisters who live here, to say that we want to expand. So, for example, an expansion of the campus that we're in right now, it's only $500,000 to expand it and to build it within 2 months, right? It's yurts and tents in wilderness. That's what it is. Wow. It's simple, and the impact is grand. And if you'd ask me how much it is to send one person for one day at Healing Space, it's only $350. And then multiply it by, you want 10 people, you want 50 people, and just do the multiplications. It's simple. It's easy. And these are people who are not affording these. These are people who are going there for free because we want to give the service. Because, you ask me as someone who lives in Israel and have children in Israel, I want this country to have this type of resilience, this type of infrastructure. So I want Healing Space to give more and more to more people, right? So we're allowing it to anyone who wants to. That's why we're fundraising. Otherwise, we didn't have the support.
Right. So you obviously need private funding because the government is not funding you. And
Not yet. We're hoping that one day they'll wake up, but until then, it's a bridge.
Right. It's a bridge. And so what is it that we all can be doing? Because we're all sitting here in tears. I mean, we don't sleep at night watching what's happening. And we're watching all of you, and you're all so brave, every single one of you in Israel, living in war. But here, we have the means to help. So how can we help? What can we do?
So first of all, I'll say that I'm learning a lot by being here, that the suffering comes from both ends of, the globe, and you feel us, like you're with us in it. And I know we're fighting for Israel, and our fight is that so that you could have an Israel, right? So that you could come back to Israel with your children, with your grandkids, so that there's something to look up to, and for the society to stay as it is. I mean, I want the Israel that I remember, right? And after this war, the worry is that we're not going to be the same. And so a place like Healing Space that restores the mind-body connection of people and creates a reality that we will not see then, more violence or hardships and things like that. We just want the calm, Israeli society that we want. And yes, to donate and to give and to sponsor a soldier's unit, to sponsor a bereaved family that goes to Healing Space, to sponsor a group of Nova survivors that go to Healing Space. We have all these populations that you can sponsor from here and make sure that they receive the care. We have links. I want to say that we are 501c3 tax deduction certified, so it makes it simple. It's just one click, this donation, and it's a huge help. And I'll say also that there is almost no overhead. It goes directly to the treatments. It goes directly to the yurts and the wilderness and the therapies and everything that you see at Healing Space. You can, by the way, see it on the website. But it goes directly to the populations who need this care.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a year And we're going into the high holidays and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot, and there is nothing better than we can do as Jews in a diaspora, but to help those people. And I think it is just a click away. It's so simple. So we're gonna post a link so everybody can go, and you can, a family, a soldier, you can give whatever you can give, but give, because by giving you feel like you've done something and you're helping the situation. And this trauma is not going anywhere. It's going to be there for a long time. And it is our duty as American Jews to do and to help. And what you're doing is really just, it's so incredible. I mean, Dr. Ilana, if you can look into this camera for me with one message that you have for everyone who's not in Israel, one thing you want to share that you have experienced through the work you've done since October 7th, what would it be?
So we're coming to a year anniversary to the darkest day that I think our people have known since the Holocaust. And it has been a year that we've learned so much about the work with trauma, about working in the middle of a war, about experiencing different types of modalities when we're healing trauma. And we learn that when we put it all together, when we do an intense day, when we give the experience that those people need, they come out with less stress levels. And their symptoms for PTSD, we can kind of like tone it down. We can tone it down. And this, I mean, it sounds a little, but it is huge. These are people who can then concentrate, who can then sleep, who can then function in society. And you want the soldiers and the policemen and the physicians and the therapists, you want them to function in their work every day. And this is what we do. We give them the help that they need so that they can keep on going and helping us and kind of like support us. So supporting them in getting the help at Healing Space is what we need to do right now. And the holidays are coming, as you said, and the holidays mean that it's so much harder for those people to go again into the holiday season and to remember that it's been a year, and to remember that they lost their loved ones, and to remember that they lost the people that they were helping and responding to. So these are the most difficult times that they could experience. And so at Healing Space, we are going to work 10 times harder at these times, and we want you with us.
Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for dedicating your life to repairing a nation and a people, which is so important. We need more of you. We need to clone more of you, create more healing spaces around the world to help people, to help us really get over all of the trauma that we've experienced in the past year. Really, everyone, as you walk onto your Rosh Hashanah table, think about those who are in so much pain and need your help. It's a click away. Click, donate what you can, share this video with your friends. We can all do our part to make this world better, and it starts with just this click. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope that this will be a really good, safe year for everyone ahead.
Safe year.
Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll see you all next time right here on Moms Matter.